Hey guys, Greg here, Bone Tactical. How to choose the right EDC, everyday carry firearm. One of the most important things is the holster. Okay guys, and here I have the example of an appendix holster, which is probably one of the most popular and one of the most recommended forms of carry for guys who don't have a big gut or are skinny guys. It's a little bit more difficult for a bulky guy like me, husky guy. And then if you've got any more of a bigger overall guy, if you're bigger than me, then you're going to want to go up to a OWB, outside the waistband. Now this is an example of a ridiculous over the top that you aren't going to want to EDC. But we're going to talk here about the differences in, we have my most common carry EDC, okay, and that is the standard Glock 19. This is what I most often carry. All right, I've carried this for probably 1,000 times all day long, every day, and I have probably, like I say, the most important thing is the holster, but I've got probably 100 and something holsters. So it's because I work with holster companies giving feedback and all that. But carry options, carry systems, I've got leather, I've got bags, I've got every kind of thermoplastic you can imagine, injection molded, IWB, OWB, appendix, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Okay, but anyway, hip carry, outside the waistband for you guys that are maybe a little out of shape. Probably gonna be appendix carry for you guys that are slim or in great shape. And then, there's other options as well for women or for small frame men. It has to do with your size as well, because, this is a very small pistol. I've got it set up to run a suppressor on here. And a lot of people will tell you, the smallest pistol that I could recommend carrying would be like an NAA revolver. They're tiny little pistols. They've got some cool carry options. They've got one that folds into the handle itself. It folds like a folding knife and you just clip it in your pocket. And a lot of people will say that a 22 is too small for self-defense. This is a particular model of a pistol that I carry specifically to use with a suppressor, and that's why I have basically option of being able to use a suppressor on this pistol. That's what you see on the tip here is a threaded barrel adapter that I made for it, and then specifically for that purpose. But this pistol is very small. It doesn't have all this stuff on the end of it. If someone were to want to carry a very small pistol, like I said, the NAA revolver is an option, and a lot of people will say that 22 is too small for self-defense. My question to those people is it really? If so, let me shoot you in the face with a 22, right? And then a lot of people change their mind. I knew a guy who carried a NAA 22 Magnum, and he would always carry the first round snake shot or rat shot. It's if you don't know what it is, look it up. But if he ever had to get in a situation where he would use the pistol, he was one of these, he was, bad dude. He knew his stuff. But he was one of these guys that was all peace and love too at the same time. I don't think that type of person really exists anymore. This was, back in the day. But he didn't want to kill anybody, and he knew his physical prowess and how good he was at being able to defend himself and, know his surroundings and all that. So he would carry on that rat cylinder chamber, because the first round would be a load of rat shot to the face, and his theory was, and practice, was that would stop just about anybody. And then the follow-up rounds, few rounds of 22 Magnum, because it's a revolver, were plenty to scramble the brains at that point, once your face is peeled off from rat shot, right? So there are options out there. I think, like I say, the carry method is the most important consideration, as important as the firearm itself. So consider how you're going to carry it before you purchase the firearm, and then have a good carry system, because if you don't have it, it's no use to using it. And that's the reason that I have this guy here. And I just have this here because this is just a ridiculous thing. And just to show that you don't, kind of to garner attention, I suppose. And then to also say that you don't want the biggest pistol ever. I consider a Glock 19 to be pretty big. I'm a very big guy. And if I was any smaller, I wouldn't even carry a Glock 19. I would be a 26 guy, because concealability is everything. The ability to conceal your firearm is your only real advantage in being a firearm carrier, because you're not in the military. You don't have a bunch of guys with you with guns. You don't have a strong force with you. You just have you. And as soon as other people know you have a gun, then you lose the advantage. They can just take you out while you're not expecting it. Using tactics and subterfuge. But getting back on track here, choosing a firearm should be based off of your stature, the temperature of where you live, because that affects the clothing you wear. So if it's winter time, you can get away with carrying a bigger gun, whether you're male or female, where you're going to carry it, what you can handle, and then the most important thing of all of this is training. So you have to just be willing to dedicate yourself to huge amounts of training with the firearm that you choose, and then understand the responsibility of being a protector to those around you, because a firearm automatically can make you a target if you don't know how to use it, and then it can make you a danger to yourself and others if you're not extremely squared away with it, really, honestly. So don't worry about the size of the firearm. Don't worry about the round capacity and all that kind of stuff. If you need 100 rounds, then you're not squared away enough. Yes, I like to have a couple extra mags with me, right? And in that case, I would have mag carriers. But although I feel like that, it's because my experiences have been much different from the average person's, what their experience would be. A gunfight in a self-defense situation shouldn't last 150 rounds. Well-placed rounds, a guy who is squared away with a J-frame revolver can do a really good job defending himself, and not have to worry about moon clips and all kinds of stuff. Just a J-frame revolver in the pocket goes a long way, and has gone a long way for a long time. So don't take anything off the table as far as firearms go, and definitely consider reliability. You see a couple Glocks and a Beretta 22 on the table here, because this Beretta is the most reliable for 22 with a suppressor, because it has the actual design and function of the pistol it's different than a Glock. The Glock has a barrel tilt and this does not. So that makes it extremely effective with any suppressor. So it just happens to be here for that. And it's also a very small pistol, so it's what I would consider to be a pocket pistol, but it could totally be used for self-defense. You've got like 7 rounds in there, whatever it is, and really could be highly effective for self-defense if necessary, right? Like I say, if you don't think 22 can be used for self-defense, let me shoot you with a 22. And the 9mm is kind of your standard, more not because it's a great round, but because it's a prevalent round. So I carry 9mm because where I'm at, all over the world, it's easiest to get 9mm rounds, right? So that's why I have 9mm in different areas and countries where I operate, because especially if I'm in a situation where I have to use a firearm, I might have to take some ammo off the person that just tried to use, that I just had to defend myself against in a shooting situation, force on force situation. So there's a lot of considerations here. I would say Glock 19 or Glock 26 are probably going to be your standard if you're really looking forward to getting into training and being in that lifestyle and spending a bunch of money on holsters and investing in your training and being a protector and practicing and changing your lifestyle to be that person. Then that, I would recommend Glock just because of the reliability and the prevalence of the ammunition in 9mm, so 26 or 19, depending on your body size. And then if you got to go down from that, my minimum recommendation would be something like this Beretta Tomcat, or a NAA revolver would be the absolute minimum size firearm. And in between in that spectrum would be a Smith & Wesson J-frame revolver, right? Like a featherweight or an airweight revolver. And those are just excellent. I do oftentimes recommend nickel or chrome just because of the lowered maintenance factors involved. And you know, just makes it a little easier. When I carry a firearm every day, and if you've ever carried a firearm every day, you'll start to realize, like, and I work and I running and gunning and sweating and in and out of hot areas and whatever, they'll rust just by you carrying them every day, and your body sweat getting on them, you know, anywhere around the equator, anywhere where it's hot and humid. So that's, you know, that being said. And then you can also consider, as far as EDC stuff, you can consider a truck gun, right? But then I would mention as well, the responsibility that goes into having a truck gun is that you're not going to leave it there for somebody to take who's going to do harm with it. So you got to learn about the Real Gray Man Theory. Check out the Real Gray Man Theory playlist here on the channel, because if you don't understand the concepts of the Real Gray Man Theory and you have a truck gun, it's just going to be a truck gun that gets stolen from you. So I hope that helps. I laid out my recommendations there: J-frame revolver, Glock 19, Glock 26, and NAA little baby revolver 22 Magnum. Those are going to be your starting places. Worry about the carry methods, concentrate on carry methods and worry about that, and worry a lot about the training and getting good with what you carry. It's going to change your lifestyle. Like I say, you're going to have a bunch of different holsters for it, and then your mag carriers for it, and figuring out how you're going to carry and where you're going to walk, and your wardrobe will change and your clothing will change. You'll start getting into concealed carry shirts like the El Sicario covert concealed carry shirt that I make, and just all kinds of stuff will change in your life. So be prepared for that. And then that's also why I recommend levels, because with the NAA revolver or the J-frame, you may not have to go so crazy as to be changing as much, but the bigger you get, the more you change, right? If you guys live in Alaska, then there's even bigger options for you guys that are in super remote or rural areas. Then you guys get to have the real fun, and you can carry stuff that, you know, is large caliber handguns, stuff like that. But we're not going to get into that because that's not an EDC concern for the huge majority of the people watching this video. So hope you enjoyed how to choose or what to choose for a concealed carry, everyday carry firearm. Thanks for watching. Bo now.